Ice Cream Conversation. Ice Cream Conversation. Forever on the grind, all day, every day. Ice Cream Convos, always real, they never play. Download the podcast, listen on any day. Why didn't I do this sooner? Only thing you ever say. Xaviera, best host of all time. All of the faithful listeners will say they never lie. Check every story they run, like me with the rhymes. When other shows report anything, it should be a crime. Entertainment news, yeah, I gotta get mine from ICC, and you should be inclined to do the same if you got half of mine. I do co-sign this lady to shine like Frankenstein. Cut it the day design. IceCreamConvos.com. Tune in, yeah. This influence by IceCreamConvos.com.
Welcome to the Ice Cream Convos Podcast, where we serve delicious scoops of entertainment and celebrity news. I am your host, Xaviera.
And I'm your co-host, Karla.
And I am so excited to be back, Karla. We back in this thing. We back.
Yes.
I'm back with my quarantine weight.
We all back with our quarantine weight. God, please, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. I am butt and gut. I'm butt and gut and butt. No, I'm kidding. No, I got a lot more gut than I got butt right now, and that's a problem. I'm working on that.
All of us, girl. I think we all feeling a little heavier.
Yes.
So.
Yes, we are feeling heavier, but I am so happy to be back. It's been a minute since we did the podcast. People have been asking, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast? I'm like, listen, Karla out here doing things in the community. I'm trying to get Ice Cream Convos under wraps because, we got some things going on. So we are back. I am so happy to be back on air with my most favorite person in the world. So.
Oh, you're too sweet. Same here. Yeah. Listen, I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Happy to be back. This feels good.
So what's the vibe going on in Philly right now? Because the last time we were on the air together, the world was quote unquote normal, but normal is not normal anymore. So what's the vibe like in Philly?
And unfortunately, I don't even think we'll ever get back to that normal. Well, we know we'll never get back to that normal, but the vibe in Philly is, I guess, just like the rest of the world. It's like it's half and half. You see the unity. We're still up here protesting. Several protests going on every single day. And then you see the other side.
Right.
The races. There was a protest the other day that real quick. It was insane. This is a pretty good town. This is a town that's not usually has any racial issues. There was a small peaceful protest, and there's a local bar that kind of sits in between two neighborhoods. Okay. And as these peaceful protesters are protesting by, they come out the bar and they start yelling, "Black lives don't matter." So,
no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not all lives matter. They hit Black lives
don't matter. And they made it a point to come out of the bar. So you sitting there, you drinking, mind you, you in there having a good time, mind you, while you sitting in the bar with this pandemic, but we can get on that later. You sitting there drinking, but you come running out. It was a peaceful protest. No chanting, no. These people are just walking through, unified, just peaceful. Yeah. And they come out and scream, "Black lives don't matter." So, real quick, and I'm not going to stay on it. You know how I feel this way. I feel like this is why we have to start boycotting some of these businesses. Like, absolutely. I have plenty of people that go to this bar, so. Absolutely. You see that side too, but I love the atmosphere. I was fortunate enough to take place in two protests, one really small one, the other one, kind of big, and it was a great feeling to see people of all colors, right? Coming together, even like people that weren't part of the protest, just fist up in the air. Like I've never seen so many fists through sunroofs in my life. Yeah,
fists through sunroofs. I like that.
That's a cool feeling. Yeah, that's a really cool feeling. So, that's what it's like up here. What's it like down there in the ATL? Because I read stuff, but it ain't always the truth. I need you to let me know. You the street.
Child. Okay. Are you clicking a pen? Like, I hear a click, like it's like a click every so often now. Okay. All right. Well, down here in Atlanta, the Chocolate City or the Dirty South got a little different situation going on down here. So, things have been, well, how do I want to say it? Okay. So first, after everything happened with George Floyd, all eyes were on America, the world, right? So then shortly after that, we had an incident, and I'm pretty sure you probably heard about it, where the police snatched these college students out of their cars. Did you hear about that? It was like 2 college students, and police yanked them out of their car because they were out after curfew. But the way that they yanked them out of their car, it was such aggressive. It was like ridiculously aggressive, the way that these officers snatched them out of the car. So Keisha Lance Bottoms was like, not here in Atlanta. So she immediately handled those officers, got them under investigation, pulled off, fired, whatever. She immediately took care of it, right? So it was more or less her way of saying, listen, y'all can have this tomfoolery with y'all police officers and everything else y'all want to do across the world, but here in Atlanta, and the AT of the L in the freaknik capital of the United States, we're not doing this. So she, she handled those officers. She disciplined them accordingly and swiftly. Sidebar, they are filing a lawsuit against her because of that. But
I'm sure.
Yeah. So she, she went ahead and handled that. So then a little while later, it was almost like the devil was like, oh, Keisha, you think you about to run your city like this? Well, I'm going to throw this at you. So then a little while later, maybe a week or 2 later, 3 weeks, maybe, because I'm not very good at keeping up at time during these trying times. Because I could be like, girl, last week, you be like, girl, that was yesterday. Oh, my bad. So anyway, Rayshard Brooks ends up getting shot and killed at the Wendy's. Rayshard Brooks fell asleep in his car in the drive-thru. And, I'm not even going to start debating people on what he could have done, what he shouldn't have done, what he could have did and didn't do and all that. At the end of the day, falling asleep in your car because you are drunk should not result in you being shot and killed as you are running away. Let me tell you something.
Point blank period. I'm so glad you stressed that, because that's something we have to get out of. No matter what someone's doing, unless they're threatening the lives of others or the safety of others, you don't just take their life. You don't take their.
Karla, you saw the video. I'm pretty sure you probably, even if you just saw a clip of officers having a conversation with Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard Brooks couldn't have bust a grape in a fruit fight. He was so drunk.
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, that's the truth. That's fact.
So he wrestles y'all on the ground because 9 times out of 10, he probably was having George Floyd flashbacks in his head. Like, y'all not going to get me on the ground and y'all not going to put your knee on my neck.
That's right.
He manages to grab the taser. He takes off running. They claim he turns around and tries to shoot the taser. He points the taser back towards them while running away. Listen, have you ever seen someone pissy drunk trying to run full speed? They literally could have let that man just run until he fell down.
Exactly.
On his own.
It's nuts.
Okay, so then we had that case, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, Keisha back. Keisha saying, Keisha like, oh, no, not here in the city of Atlanta, not here in the ATLANTA, freaknik capital of the world. No, we're not having this. So one thing that I will give Keisha a lot of credit for is that she don't pussyfoot around. Mm-hmm. She gets straight to it. She handles the business. And whether people feel she's too aggressive or she's going too hard in the paint, maybe if a lot of others, mayors and governors and officials went hard in the paint,
that's right,
then maybe it would slow people down. Because I feel like law enforcement has gotten to the point where they feel like they are invincible and they are the law versus upholding the law.
Oh, absolutely. That's just a fact. I don't even think that's a feeling. I think, we see it. We all see it. And I feel like Keisha is a perfect, I'm calling her by her first name, like a girl.
I got a mayor named Keisha. I got a mayor named Keisha. Okay.
Yeah. Mayor, Lance Bottoms. I feel like she's a great example to all the mayors throughout our country. I feel like, I don't know if you remember, I feel like I think she was the first one to sign the law, bill, whatever, to make Atlanta like an asylum, like a sanctuary city for when, what they were doing, what we all know what they were doing to the immigrants. Mm-hmm. And a lot of mayors followed suit after that. So she's a great example. She really is. And I love her. I tell you all the time, I absolutely love her and what she's doing for Atlanta, what she's trying to do.
Yeah. So then.
I know. That's why I said trying.
So then. Oh, Lord Jesus. And at this point, I can't help but giggle to keep from crying. Okay, so look. So then you had the Rayshard Brooks case. Mm-hmm. And then things got really real in the city of Atlanta because after Rayshard was killed, a young non-pigmented woman who is allegedly connected to Rayshard in a very special way went down and set Wendy's ablaze. After that, there were groups. Apparently, there were groups in Atlanta that had barricaded off the area around the Wendy's. Bestie, what do you call it when a group of people come in and shut off a part of the city and they like law enforcement and nobody else can come in or go out of this particular part of the city?
Honestly, I really don't know what you call it. I don't know what word the name of it is, but you don't see that often here. You usually see that in other countries. Yeah.
Well, they set up shop in Atlanta. Wow. And over the 4th of July weekend, Atlanta was wildin'. It was over 24 people shot, 4 people killed, including an 8-year-old little girl. And they said the 8-year-old little girl was shot when her parents were trying to turn around in that barricaded area that was shut off by the Wendy's. So, but here's another theory. And, I know we tried not to work in conspiracy theories and rumors and all that, but just humor me for a moment. Mm-hmm. There's another theory that, and because you are also a member of the Black community, this won't sound foreign to you and it won't sound far-fetched, but there's a theory that, I received a text message over the 4th of July, and I don't know if you got it all the way up in Philly, but I received a text message warning me that there was a very huge and large credible threat against the Black community by white, racist and terrorist organizations, because that's what they are, that they had planned to go out and try to harm as many Black people as possible over the 4th of July weekend. Okay, so I received that text message. It was extremely alarming, but I knew I had no plans to leave my home over the weekend, so I was good. At one point last week, I actually got on Twitter and I told Black people, do not leave home without some form of protection. That tweet was, I don't even want to say inspired. It was invoked by constant visuals, photos, videos, news stories of Black people being brutalized across the country on a daily basis. I literally logged onto Instagram yesterday and saw white people trying to tie a Black man to a tree.
What?
Trying to tie a Black man to a tree.
That's nuts.
It is. It's absolutely nuts. Prior to that, I saw a video and after a while, these cities and these states, all of it becomes a blur to be like, oh, it was such and such city or such and such state. It all becomes a blur. Mm-hmm. But it was a Black couple, young couple, probably 25 and under. And they were inside of a bar. And apparently like they were either grabbing some food or getting something to eat, maybe like a pub, more like a pub than a straight up bar. And when the video started, they were surrounded by a bunch of white men, and then there was a white woman in the mix, and the white woman walked around from the Black man. So the white men are antagonizing the Black man. They're rah, 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 rah in his face, racial slurs, all that. And he's like, yo, leave me alone. Some. The white lady walks around and starts 2 hands shoving the Black girl in her back as she's sitting in the stool.
Oh, gosh.
2 hands shoving. And I'm like,
which is assaulting her, basically assaulting her. And I'm sitting there like, and part of me is like, just stop now. Just stop here. Cash out on this video. Stop here. Cash out. But it was almost like a train wreck where it's almost like you can't, or a car accident when you're driving by. You don't want to look. But you can't.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I need to know how this ended. Did someone call the police? Did someone, and this goes back to you saying that we need to boycott these pubs and bars and these businesses who don't stand up and who don't say anything. Exactly. The moment that couple was surrounded and started being antagonized inside that establishment, the police should have been called.
Yeah.
Just
right away.
The amount of video I was able to look at, it was ample time to get some law enforcement out there. Eventually, the black dude realized that there was no way out of this because, there comes a point in time when you realize it is fight or flight, right?
Yeah,
you can't fight because they got him surrounded. Mm-hmm. So he got to fight. He literally took the plate he was eating off of and just cracked it over one of their foreheads. And they jumped him. They jumped her. They jumped her. She's fighting. He's trying to fight. And that's, I think that's when I just cashed out.
That's where it ended.
I just had to get out. And so, you see things like this and, we have some groups now in the Black community that are very similar to the Black Panthers. They give me Black Panther vibes.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They are armed. They are ready for whatever smoke that is coming their way.
That's right.
And, it's like, I don't know. I can't oppose it because we tried the peaceful route.
Exactly.
We tried the peaceful route. And I think in every community, especially in the Black community, we need our Martin Luther Kings, but we also need our Malcolm X's.
Absolutely. Balance. You have to have that balance. You do. I agree. I totally agree with you. You need both. Yeah. You need both. You have your muscle. Forgive me, everyone, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. This isn't the views of Ice Cream Convos, but even Jesus had disciples. Even he had muscle.
Okay.
And,
he had 12 of them Johns. He had 12 Johns.
Exactly.
One of them was a little shaky. But he had 12 Johns.
Exactly. So I agree. We've tried the peaceful route for how many years?
Yeah.
How many years?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, don't think I'm saying go out here and be radical either, but we have to. It's nothing wrong with organizing and exercising our right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree with that. And, it's almost like you think to yourself, okay, well, when our Martins are out here protesting and fighting for justice and they're under attack, that's when we need our Malcolms.
Yeah, absolutely. There it is.
To protect.
You see it all the time.
Because I'm not an advocate of race coming from either side. I'm not an advocate for that. But, sometimes you have to keep that same energy and you have to meet people with the energy that they present to you.
That's true.
And so that's all I'm going to say on that is that.
How do you expect anything different if you don't change? We keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're getting the same results. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like this particular time with this particular Black Lives Matter movement, do you feel like we will see a real change, or will it once again be the temporary pacifying us and until we calm down and go back to business as usual? Do you think it'll be that particular kind of case? All right. Well, first of all, I think, it's not going to be overnight. It's going to be a long process. But I do feel like we've already seen it a little bit. We've seen some, laws change, even though we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
We still need to bring some people in. A lot of people need to come on in and be arrested and charged and indicted.
Absolutely.
And that good stuff. But this is the first time we've seen, this is worldwide. You can Google right now Black Lives Matter, and you can literally can find a protest or information all over the world.
Yes.
It has affected people all over the world. So I do believe this movement is different. I think it will be a slow, very slow process. Mm-hmm. But I believe if we keep, our foot on the pedal, we have to continue every single day till we wear our shoes out, till our feet hurt. And I'm not just talking about that literally. I mean, our fingers hurt,
Yeah. Because I'm a keyboard protester now.
And which is very important.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Which is extremely important.
I'm going to get that information out to you. I'm going to get the paperwork. I'm going to get the paperwork done.
All day. And you've done such a great job at it. And it's an important job because you figure right now, if we didn't have all this, if we didn't have you, if we didn't have the technology, if we didn't have the capability to do this, there's a lot of information that we just would not have.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying? We just have to organize it. We have to utilize it, to our benefit in a positive way. Because sometimes I think we don't use it in a necessarily positive way. But, thank you for, what you do too. It's extremely important.
Yeah. It's
incredible. Incredible. You know that.
But it's always a time where you feel like you could just be doing more. It's like that constant feeling of you could be doing more, you could be doing more, you could be doing more.
We all can, but you're doing a great job. It's credible. You're not persuading one way or another, which we see. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to find the truth anymore.
Yeah, non-biased information is very, very hard to find. And to the best of my ability, I try not to be too biased, but I'm blackity black, blackity black. And that's not going to change. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. And that's you just have to deal with it, and, so it's my responsibility to speak to my community. But at the same time, I have been actively trying to have conversations and dialogue with people from other communities to build, excuse me, to build a better understanding and have those conversations. But I'm wore out. It's
a hard job, though.
I'm wore out.
It's really hard. It is. It's like, we're going through what we're already going through, and then you have to try to educate.
Yeah. And Karla, like, it's tough because, I don't mind trying to educate at all. I love to teach. I'll teach you anything you need to know. I'll teach. But when when the educating starts turning into or feeling like explaining, I got to cash out because I'm going to educate you and give you the tools, and I'm going to empower you with knowledge. But when it gets to the point where I'm starting to explain and I'm trying to explain to you how things work versus, because educating is one thing, but when you get to the point of explaining, then you're dealing with someone who really isn't trying to understand what you're talking about.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's what makes it so hard. You got to be willing. You have to educate someone that's willing. If they come in and some people, their minds are already made up, they're not going to open it up. They're not willing to learn. And that's the ignorance. That's where the ignorance piece comes in. Not knowing something is okay. We all don't know something. But the not wanting to know and educate yourself, that speaks volumes, especially when we're talking about what's going on right now. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And so, it is what it is. I'm praying for everyone because this world really, really needs to change. And before we move forward, I know I got kind of sidebarred talking about Atlanta, but send up prayers for Keisha Lance Bottoms because that woman, the irony, the devil is so busy because that woman fought so hard to keep Atlantans in the house and to keep them safe from COVID-19. And now she's tested positive and she's asymptomatic. I'm just like, are you serious?
Yeah, it is sad. I thank God she's asymptomatic though.
Yeah.
It is. The irony of that though, like you said, is just when I saw the news, I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, just send up a prayer for Keisha Lance Bottoms. Send up a prayer for the world because the world is in a handbasket right now with some kerosene in the bottom.
Girl, listen, halfway.
It's just so, yeah. So anyway, but with that being said, just prayers to everyone. Listen, just keep your head on a swivel. If there's an opportunity for dialogue, have the dialogue. Stop engaging Karens.
Oh, please,
if you encounter a Karen, nip it in the bud.
Right away.
Nip it in the bud. I don't need to see your video of your encounter so you go back and forth with her 15, 20 minutes so you can videotape it and share it on social media so it can go viral. And then hopefully people will try to find out who she is and get her fired and all that. Nip it in the bud. My resolution for Karens is pepper spray.
Straight up.
You start pepper spraying. pepper spraying them in their mouth while they trying to cough on your kid.
Oh, the mouth though?
Pepper spray them in their mouth. Because now Karen's is coughing on folks. So you pepper spray them in their mouth.
Oh, yeah, true that.
If they get up in your face with their pepper spray them in the eye, like, just handle your business. There is no need. Pepper spray and walk away.
Yeah. Pepper spray and walk away. That sounds right. You hear that? Pepper spray and walk away.
Pepper spray and walk away. There is no reason to waste your time going back and forth with a Karen. I already know what Karens do. I don't need to see your video. I don't need Suede. What's this called? Suede the Remix God. I don't need him to make a song out of it. Just leave it alone. If they start up, let them know exactly what you got to say and go about your business. Pepper spray and walk away. Point blank, period.
Pepper spray and walk away.
But that goes back to me saying that everyone should have some form of protection when they leave the house.
Yeah. That's
pepper spray and walk away. Pepper spray and walk away.
Remember these people that we see, and I hate to say these people, I sound like them. But when I say these people, I'm talking about people. It's all fear.
Yeah.
It's racism, it's fear. And we all know how somebody acts a lot of times when they're scared. But we have to protect ourselves. And we have to protect each other. We have to look out for each other.
Yes.
Be more self-aware.
Absolutely.
Of each other's surroundings. So.
We have to literally, we always talk about it takes a village and I'm my brother's keeper and all that. No, we really need to actually be that.
Need to live it. Yep.
We actually really, truly, honestly need to live that. So, and the last thing to wrap up this particular section of our conversation is we don't need Kanye West as our president.
Oh, girl.
Kanye always finds the most inopportune times to assert his tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Yeah. You don't think it's to split the vote?
Of course it is. Who you think sending?
We know who's sending.
Who you think sending?
Yeah, exactly. It actually made me feel sick though when I seen it. On a serious note, when I seen it, I'm just like, here we go. Here we go. But
and I thought back, I was like, I remember one time he threw it out into the air. Remember a couple years ago, he threw it out in the air that he would be running in 2020. And we were like, yeah, okay. All right, Kanye. Yeah. Okay. And then here he comes in July, 4th of July. Hasn't even properly registered, missed the deadline to register in several states.
Yes, that's what's so funny. I think 6 states maybe.
Yes, but the thing is, for the people who aren't fully educated or fully understand how all of this works, they're going to be distracted by this mess.
That's true.
They're going to be distracted by it, not realizing he really can't. I mean, I don't know if he can run, but then you'll go into the polls.
Anything can go now. Honestly, do you trust it? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you because I've already seen a couple things on social media. Like, okay, if I got to pick between Biden, Trump, and Kanye, I'm going with Kanye.
Oh God,
I've seen it more than once. So that bothers me. That bothers me a lot. Yeah. So it's just like we'll see.
And you would think Kanye would be intelligent enough. You would think. Keyword is think, that Kanye West would be intelligent enough to know that he is doing nothing but causing a distraction. But he's always worked in a space of self-serving. Yeah, absolutely. There it is. Period. Always that reminds you of. So it's like it's sickening. Kanye need to go sit his ass down. Period. He did an interview, I think, with Forbes and started talking about some of the platforms that he would be running on, getting chemicals out of toothpaste and out of, it was toothpaste and something else. Then it was giving people 40 acres and a mule. Oh, my goodness. And it was just. You see what this school on the White House then started? Like, you see? Yeah. Yeah, and I saw someone say something about okay, time is up for people with no political history and no political experience running for office. Time is up for that. Yeah, it is. We're in a crisis. This country is in a crisis, more than one. Absolutely.
Who we have going on right now? We need someone with a lot of experience. You know, put all the personal whatever you feel aside, and we're not going to get political or whatever, but just make the right, what the right choice is.
Yeah.
To get the country back together, period. Just make that choice.
Yeah, just make the right choice. And Kanye ain't it. And we'll wrap it up on that.
Exactly.
We will wrap it up on that. Okay, right. Karla. So over the course of the pandemic, aside from being paranoid as hell, shook, scared to death, every time I cough, fart, burp, I'm like, oh Lord, not like this, Jesus. Not like this, Jesus. I had a grandbaby. I want to see my grandbaby grow up.
I know, right?
So,
girl, how about when somebody else sneezes or cough in public? That's hilarious.
Oh.
Now you thought they brought a gun out.
Listen, people be dropping to the floor, army crawling out of the dropping to the floor, army crawling out. But during the pandemic, aside from being paranoid as hell and trying not to cough, sneeze, and I was the dummy who literally got up every morning and tried to hold my breath for 10 seconds like that actually meant something. Because, that's what I read on the internet. Like, hold your breath for 10 seconds. If you hold your breath for 10 seconds, then you don't have to. Yes. So, with that being said, I jumped into the stock market.
Okay.
Yeah, I jumped into the stock market as a distraction, I would say, to kind of just I have to focus on something to keep my nerves in check, right? Okay. So I jumped into the stock market because I kept seeing memes on social media that said, while all y'all buying toilet paper, rich people buying stock. While all y'all buying up all the groceries, rich people buying stock. And I was like, well, I want to be a rich people. I want to be a rich people. So taught myself the stock market, created a stock market group, taught over 100 people how to, get into the stock market.
Look at you.
Yeah. And I was very proud of that because once I realized how easy the stock market is, I felt like I was purposefully kept out. I just felt like the stock market was made to seem so above and beyond our knowledge that we couldn't get in there and really get busy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's me. I was always like, oh, child, please.
Like, that's over my head, right?
Yeah, way over my head.
Girl, I done got in there. I be flipping stocks and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So that's one thing that I've been doing during the quarantine. And so if you are interested in joining the stock market, reach out to me. Let me know. I will also put a link in the description of this particular podcast for you to go ahead and get down with the ICC stock gang. But yeah, so I've been doing stock market. I've been growing this quarantine belly. Just trying to keep the family safe during the quarantine. And I'm watching a lot of celebrities. Apparently the quarantine ended on Memorial Day weekend. Is that what happened in Philly?
Yeah, somewhat, like half the city. Yeah, like half.
Because Memorial Day weekend, I got online and I was like, oh, we at the beach, we at the waterfront, we at the park, we at the amusement, we at the water park, we everywhere. So I said, oh, okay, so apparently I missed the memo and Rona ended Memorial Day weekend. It has not ended here in my house. I am always mortified when I go out. I see people without a mask.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that bothers me.
Yo. And I don't know. There's a part of me that wish I had that type of confidence in the world, but I don't want it during a pandemic. I could channel that type of confidence somewhere else. Confidence that I will not catch a virus in the middle of a pandemic.
You're being safe and smart.
And now there's a movement that, when did this evolve into, well, if you were in a mask, you were a Democrat. Only Democrats wear. I'm like, excuse me?
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Everything's political.
Everything's political, all the way down to wearing a mask. You don't want to get sick and die.
That's ridiculous.
But now wearing a mask or not wearing a mask is political. And then now there's a thing called mask shaming, where you are shaming people who opt not to wear a mask. I'm like, okay.
My God. Stop.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, stop being selfish. This is why it's a pandemic and why it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
We are so selfish.
We are.
Whether you who are not doing it makes me feel comfortable. Who likes wearing a mask? But at the end of the day, we want to protect our families, our loved ones. Right. Stop being so selfish. People think about ourselves. And when I watch the videos of the beaches and bars, and I'm just like, these people don't care about anybody but themselves. Not even their loved ones. No. Because everybody got somebody around them that is either elderly or got some pre-existing health conditions. You might not get sick, but you get somebody else sick.
Right. And I was in Walmart one time picking up a prescription for my daughter, and it was 2 women in there, Karen and Kelly. And they were having an out loud conversation about how they have never worn a mask this entire pandemic. And Kelly said, well, I have a heart condition and I have been absolutely fine. And I'm just looking like, look at Beavis and Butthead. But they were having that conversation aloud, I guess, to mask shame everyone else who was standing there with a mask on.
Exactly. I've seen it.
I just wish I could put a tracker on them so that I could be like, 1 week later, boop, 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 boop. Be like, damn, Kelly, this song is dedicated for peace in that gangster.
Yeah, you're a fool. You're on your own, Kelly. Listen, I see them all the time. You're on your own. Just keep your distance away from me.
Wow. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel with COVID-19?
Yes, because we haven't seen it before. But if you go back in history, there's so many other, they didn't, become this large. But it's a virus. It'll take its course. I'm not saying it's gone or it'll just go away. Mm-hmm. But I do see a light at the end of the tunnel, because if you look wherever you live, the numbers are decreasing, especially deaths. Deaths from COVID are decreasing. I'm not talking about the numbers of people that are positive, who tested positive. I'm talking about deaths. Mm-hmm. It's decreasing. So no matter what a lot of the numbers say, and I know you read different things or you watch the news, try to stay local. Try to look at your health department where you live. That's what I do. Yeah. Because it gets overwhelming. It does. You hear one thing, you hear another. You hear one thing, you hear another. But if you go to your local health department, wherever you live, that's the most accurate numbers that you're going to get. Start small. You can't worry about the whole country, unfortunately, because we're selfish. A lot of us are selfish. But you can check on your where you live at and make sure that your numbers are, and just try to do what you're supposed to do.
I have a better idea of what's going on locally. That's a great point. Because when you turn on the news and you be like, this city 100,000 and this state 300,000, you're like, oh, Lord Jesus, my stomach hurting. Oh Lord, not like this, Jesus. It's overwhelming. But that is a great point, Karla, and I really appreciate you for bringing that up. Start local. Look at your local health department.
Yeah, and they're not going to they don't have any reason to alter numbers. That's the main reason I say that. Unfortunately, some media outlets, not all. Mm-hmm. They have an agenda. We know that, so sometimes, or they don't do the thorough research and get the accurate numbers. Right. So I just feel like, if you start there, you start small and you're like, okay, I see we're doing pretty good. That's what I do. Okay. And, and we're doing pretty well, but because of traveling, and we're all the states aren't doing the same thing. So, it's tricky.
Well, speaking of traveling, I wanted to talk about airplanes because I know that you are an aviation advocate. Let me tell you a little bit of something about Karla in case this is your first time tuning into the ICC podcast. Miss Karla.
Don't do me dirty.
Miss Karla has an affinity for planes and aircrafts and flying. Karla can tell you 30,000 ways why a plane won't fall out the sky. Because Karla is so fascinated, like Karla absolutely loves planes and the whole thing about flying and aviation.
Beautiful. They're the best things ever. Absolutely.
To the point that every time she travels to Atlanta for any reason to visit me or do business,
you're wrong.
They tap her on her shoulder and pull her to the side. I told her that she's on one of those. She's on that flag list. Oh gosh. Every single time, y'all, it never fails. Karla, I got pulled again.
It's the truth, but I don't know no list. I just think they see this beautiful smile that I have, and they just want to spend some extra time asking me where I'm from. Why am I back?
Where you going? Patting you down a little extra hard because you got such a beautiful smile.
You have to do me like that, but yes, yes, they get me.
I'm convinced that there is a file in somebody's office with your name on it.
Child, yes. Last time they went through my braids. That's when I was convinced.
See, they went through
my braids. They actually made me take my bun down. I had them like pulled up, and they went through my braids.
Okay.
I don't know what they were looking for, but
it's not a game. It's not a game, Karla. So anyway, I want to ask you, have you seen where they are now filling flights to capacity? They like 2 tiers in a bucket when it comes to COVID-19.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. As much as I love flying and as much as I love you, I'll either be on that 13-hour ride or in the car or on a train. What is it, 16 in the train? I ain't flying nowhere. That's, oh my gosh, that's such a hazard. That is such a hazard. And they were supposed to do what? 70% something. I forget what the numbers were, what they claimed they were going to do when the pandemic first kind of, when we were able to really fly again.
But how can you even do that on a plane? Like I'm on a plane on a regular day and I'm like, there is no air circulating in here. I told you, I said, the next time I get on the plane, they're going to have to be able to roll the window down. And you know.
Exactly. No ventilation, compressed air, you know. And honestly, a lot of people don't know, but that you get sick a lot of times if you travel and you're wondering, like, I got the sniffles. It's the plane. This is before COVID.
It's the plane.
And then I have an issue with, can you imagine wearing, especially long flights, can you imagine taking a 12-hour flight with a mask on your face? That would be totally uncomfortable for me.
Absolutely uncomfortable. And so my thing is, so since you are our aviation specialist, Karla.
No, I ain't no specialist. You can call me a specialist.
You are an aviation, in-house aviation specialist. Is there any way to make planes safe during COVID?
I'm going to tell you why I don't believe so. One of the main things that there's a problem with as it is, they barely clean planes. One of the dirtiest things you touch on a plane is that tray because they don't have time. They have a very limited, I think it may be 2 to 3 minutes before you board the next, and so they wipe it down. It's not a thorough job anyway. So now what will happen is they can do it, but now you're talking about delays.
Less flights.
Cancellations, less flights, which we already know. Airline has already suffered a lot. They've taken a huge loss. Yeah. I don't think they're going to do it. Money's first. So that's I don't think the only way that it could possibly be safe is if they properly take the time and disinfect that plane each and every time. You deplane. That's I can't imagine that any other way. Honestly. I'm sitting here thinking, and I just don't.
But how effective is the disinfecting if someone asymptomatic with COVID-19 boards the flight?
That's true. You have a very good point with that too. It's really not, and that's where the masks come in and stuff like that. But it's just, I think it's impossible with a plane. The airline is going to do what they're going to do. They have got to make that money up, and also you have to think about it. There's a lot of planes that have been sitting.
Yes.
In the boneyard is what they kind of called it. Not, the boneyard is when they retired the planes, but they have never had to sit as many planes as they had. So maintenance, it's a lot. They're gonna definitely board at full capacity. They need to make that money up.
They need to make that money back.
Yeah, I don't think it's safe though. I don't see them being able to properly handle COVID. Maybe they'll come up with something else. I mean, even if you just put like 50 people on a large jet. That's still, if someone is asymptomatic
out, like the way you have to spread them out. Listen, can you put directions in a hot air balloon like a GPS? You put a GPS on a hot air balloon, I slide through because that,
right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but it's the airline. Definitely, the airline business will never ever be the same again. I don't think so.
And I'm a stockholder. I have a couple shares of Delta, and I have what's the other one?
Smart. Their hubs down there.
I think I got Spirit because I will never, as long as I live, get on Spirit. But one thing about it, Spirit will always have somebody who's willing to risk their life for a $25 ticket. You can go to Australia for $30. There will always be somebody who's willing to go on Spirit.
Yeah, and they will leave your ass wherever you at. And you won't be able to get out of there and offer you another flight 4 weeks later.
And let me tell you something. It's so funny because you are the person that I had to consult because I was on a Spirit airline flight that felt like it was literally going to fall out of the sky. Do you remember I told you about that?
Yeah. You really went through something.
I cried on an airplane because I was like, not like this, Jesus. I literally was on the flight crying. Me and my cousin both, we were crying. It literally felt like the plane was going to fall out of the sky. I have never felt that before in my life. And you know, in the car, you might could swerve, skirt. Yeah, okay.
Right.
On a train, yeah, I mean, you might, it's going to take you about 15, 20 minutes to slow down. But in the air.
Look, 32,000 feet in the air. Yeah. It's the not having control. It's the being up in the air. It is. And that's the anxiety of it. And that I hate that you had to go through that. Because look, I have been through some little turbulence, but what you went through, I never went through it. And I might not even feel the same way about flying after that.
I'm just like, yeah, I trust me. I definitely feel different about flying, but I said, I do realize the monetary value of Spirit Airlines because there will always be someone. And, you know, Spirit Airlines was one of the airlines that was packed before the pandemic was over. Because remember, 2 passengers started fighting and they had to make an emergency landing. And that's when I went and bought my stock. I said, they packed the flight in COVID and fighting. I'm going to get my stuff.
We're going to grab some of that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I was like, ooh. So I don't know, y'all. Let us know, you know, drop in the comments, you know, of this particular podcast and let us know, are you willing to fly? Or have you flown?
Yes, have you flown? That's a good one. Please let us know, have you flown? I want to know the experience and what it's like firsthand. Just
because that got to be different.
Yeah.
That got to be different.
Yeah.
All right, so let's switch gears because, you know, I couldn't wait to get into this celebrity news and entertainment. You know, we done talked about all the things plaguing the world. We started out a little serious, you know, because we have some things that must be discussed that we cannot overlook, we cannot bypass. But I am ready for the tomfoolery and the shenanigans.
Oh, yeah, let's get it.
Let me start, please, with my boy, August Alsina. And it's so funny because I have people asking me all the time. They be like, it's August Alsina. I'm like, no, it's August Alsina. Because it's funny how people will correct you. Like you'll have your own little funny little inside jokes and people will correct you.
Yeah. Well, you got me calling him that. I couldn't remember the boy's real name. I'm like, Alsina. That's what it is. Hey.
Alsina has a better ring to it anyway, but
it really does.
So just for those who may not understand why I call August Alsina August Alsina, I think he was like, what was it, 106 in Park, Karla? He was like on something.
Yeah,
and it was a fan. It was a girl. And she was like, yeah, August Alsina. Like she was so serious about August, but she could not say Alsina to save her life. And she was like, yeah, August Alsina this and August Alsina that. So it just stuck with me. And here we are years later. It's still August Alsina. But ladies and gents, boys and girls, if you have not heard by now, August Alsina done spilled all the tea. Now, this particular tea spilling is different because we already had the cups. We already had the tea in the cups, but the tea was cold. It wasn't quite warm. It didn't have the sugar in it. You know, it didn't have 1 lump or 2. I'll take 2 lumps of sugar, please. So, you know, it wasn't all the way ready. It was still steeping, even though the water was cold, right?
Yeah.
You know, for years, we have raised our eyebrow at August Alsina's relationship with the Smiths. Primarily Jada Pinkett Smith, right? You know, August had that estranged relationship with his own mother.
Yes.
And then he told us, air quotes, he told us that Jada was like a mother figure to him, that the Smith family brought him in. They loved him as one of their own. He went to Hawaii with Jada and Willow and Willow's boyfriend. I thought it was a little strange, but I was like, no. He's just going to Hawaii with his mama and his sister, right? Well, Little did I know, in the year of our Lord 2020, in the middle of a pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement, would I find out that they was on a double date.
Girl.
They was on a double date. Girl, they was on a double date. So basically, August Alsina had this tell-all interview. He released a new album, State of Emergency, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, just to be fair, August has been through a lot in his personal life, as far as his health is concerned. Mm-hmm. August has been through a lot. You know, he had challenges with substance abuse. He's taken on the role of raising his nieces after his sister passed away. His 3 nieces. Wow. Yeah. He's taken on that responsibility. But let's get back to Jada Pinkett Smith. So he was over there with the Smiths. And so he did this interview with Angela Yee. And Angela Yee asked him, first she tried to ask if he was romantically involved with anyone. Then she took that and got on a skateboard and slid into asking him whether or not, you know, the rumors about him having a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith were true. I want to point out a few things. Mm-hmm. Number one being, August never said Jada's name.
Right.
That's a different kind of hurt when you can't even say the person's name.
Yeah, that's true.
When you just dropping pronouns on her, she, we, pronouns. That's a different type of hurt.
Yeah.
He still love that lady.
Yep.
He still love that lady.
Yep.
And he is extremely hurt. He told Angela Yee that he was in a relationship and he was fully committed and gave 1,000% of himself to this relationship. But he was most angry at the criticism, the speculation, rumors on top of speculation and criticism that he has received over the years about this particular relationship because, you know, first it was he's obsessed with Jada. He's a young boy who's obsessed with a woman who's trying to be a mother figure to him. He's all up in the Smith family household trying to break up their household because he's obsessed. He caught a lot. And I think at this point in time in his life, number one, he's out of the situation. People are always willing to have a better conversation once they are out of a situation versus going through it.
True that.
Number one, he is out of the situation. Number two, hindsight is always 20/20.
Yes.
And number three, I really feel August Alsina feel like he ain't got shit to lose at this point in time in his life.
Yep. That's where I was going with it. I was like, at this point, what does he have to lose? He has been through everything. Like, I was thinking about his health.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess he's at a point in life where he's just ready to release. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I was shocked.
Okay, so it was a weird shock. It was a weird shock because we already knew it and felt it in our spirit, but I was shocked that he actually said it.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah. That's what I was shocked at. I couldn't believe it.
Because I felt like that was one of those, you know, all right, boo, we just gonna take it to the grave. Like we'll take it to the grave and let people just think what they think. But not only did he confirm that there was a relationship, he also said that he sat down with Will and Will gave him his blessing.
That part.
That's when the tea burnt my top lip. That when the tea burnt my top lip.
Girl, yes.
I said, Lord, my lip gonna swell up tomorrow. That's when the tea burnt my top lip. Because listen, for years, we've heard the alleged rumors about the Smiths being swingers or having an open marriage. Like none of this stuff is new to us. We have heard this for years and years and years. Remember, they were saying that Will was messing with, what they say? Who was it that they said Will was messing with?
The whole squad, wasn't it? At one time.
He had a whole
squad of them. It was like Keisha and
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Listen, it was messing with the whole couple. Keisha, Dwayne, the whole couple. But and then you remember they were saying that Jada was allegedly messing with Mark Anthony when they did the show Hawthorne.
I forgot about that.
That chemistry was nuts.
It was. I was
like, and I'm sorry, but I was like, their chemistry was so nuts. I was like, Jada, if Will say it's okay, go get you some, girl. Go get you some. Get you some. Go get you some. But okay, so August confirms the relationship, says he has Will's blessing, but then he said that leaving that relationship almost killed him. It almost killed him. That's how deeply entwined he was in this relationship.
Yes. But surprised. You surprised?
Because you know the older women always been putting it on young boys and having them twisted. And then their mamas fight at the grocery store when they run into her. You remember how mad Florida was when JJ brought home that grown ass woman?
Always to go back to good times. Always a 70s or 80s show. And you can find
life lesson in this world can be learned in good times, the facts of life, Martin and Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah.
Because see, the Jeffersons will teach you how to live once you make it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so the Jeffersons prepared you for the middle class and upper class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and good times was for those of us who were still stuck in lower class, keeping our head above water. Temporarily. So yeah, that was for us. Martin taught us what to do and what not to do in a relationship. Yeah. Once we get older and we have our circle of friends in our relationship, don't get me to preaching about these black TV shows.
You gotta get it. That's a whole nother show, right?
Yeah, see, the reason why August Isolina got caught up is because he's too young to dive into them good times episodes. He's too young to understand the Jeffersons. He's too young to understand his son.
Let them know. And that's fact. Tell these kids, they don't know. I ain't calling them a kid, but they listen, you don't know what you was missing. You can learn a lot. Daily lessons for free every day on TV One. Daily life lessons every day. Reruns. And when you get tired of that, turn to BET and watch Baby Boy. So let's focus. Okay, so August Isolina. So he confirms the relationship with Jada. He doubles down and tells us that Will co-signed it and allowed it. So now I'm like, okay. So, and now let's revert back to all these Red Table Talk conversations, because the reality of it is, since Red Table Talk turned off, Jada and Will have been spoon feeding us every time they sit at that table together. Because I said, he's been married for over 20 years. Why every other episode of Red Table Talk is them sitting at the table, digging some more into their marriage, digging some more into their relationship, telling us stuff we done heard 30, 40, 50 times over. No. They are to a point now where it's like, number one, ratings, of course, because, ratings are always going to be ratings for people to tune in, like they can get some tea. But two, they have been spoon feeding us this. Jada sat at that table and confidently said, we are married, and whoever marries me, while she's sitting across from her husband, she says, whoever marries me, we in this thing for life. So ain't no divorce. You could be on this side of the house with somebody, and I could be on this side of the house with somebody, but we gonna be in this house together. Now, meanwhile, Gabby was sitting at the table dying a slow death because she was like, look, this is not how I was raised. I watched 45 episodes of Good Times, and not once did Florida try to holler at that little boy that Michael brought home to get tutored. Not once. Gabby, like, I can't. Don't to me. Man, listen. You are so right, though. They have been just spooned. They have. Literally. From day one.
They have been preparing us for this. They have been spoon feeding us. They told us that we are in a life partnership. Huh?
Like, what? I don't even know what that is.
That word.
Exactly.
They have been spoon feeding us. They have been telling us whether or not we were paying attention, whether or not we were taking it in, keeping notes. They have been spoon feeding us and telling us for every time they sit down at that Red Table Talk, that the Red Table, on Red Table Talk, that they do not have a traditional marriage.
Not at all.
And we can translate that into whatever we want to translate it into.
Yeah.
So when August Isolina jump out the window and let us know everything and tell us everything, we should not be shocked because they have been telling us.
True.
And Jada so bold with it, she had Isolina at the red table. Sitting down with her hands.
Yes. Wow. Jada ill. Jada something.
Took him to the BET Awards. But let me tell you how one thing that you always say about me is like how I look at something and I look at it a little differently. Or I look a little deeper.
Yeah, you put them layers apart.
So the big bomb in his interview with Angela Yee was the whole Jada Pinkett Smith thing, but there were a lot of other great things that August talked about inside the interview. He talked about his health. He talked about how the stress of that relationship actually weighed on his health and how the stress of everything he was going through manifested through his body and caused him to be sick. Okay. Mm-hmm. But later on down the line, he went back and was like, he's been abstinent for 3 years. Oh, let me grab my Palm Pilot. You've been abstinent for 3 years. It is 2020. So 3 years back is 2017. And that is when he was with Jada. So if you want to ask whether or not he actually smashed or if they had a kumbaya, hold hands and read Bible scriptures type of relationship, they was banging. Allegedly.
Period.
August was dropping off a little something special in them walls inside the Smith household.
You already heard about August.
It's okay. We done synced August.
August.
Synced.
I was trying to get it clean for the morning.
Get those text messages I was sending you now. Them screenshots. We have synced August. So there are a group of people. Of course, August Alsina has had a huge amount of support, but there are a group of people who are still condemning August for kissing and telling. Where do you stand on that?
No, to me, it is what it is. I don't feel like he's kissing and telling like we talked about earlier. I just feel like at the end of the day, he's at a point in his life and everything he's been through, he's just ready to release. Mm-hmm. And he's tired of it. He just wanted to let it go. And because honestly, in order to move on, it's clear that he's still in love. Yeah. And one of the things to moving on is what? Releasing it, putting it out there so you can move past it.
Absolutely.
That's my opinion. What you think?
He did take to Instagram. I think it was Instagram. And he said, so on and so forth. He basically put one of those, you can judge me if you want to type of post out. But at the end, he said nobody was blindsided. Everyone received notification that this conversation was going to be had at the time. So what's crazy is the aftermath of it because Jada and are unique. As far as August speaking on the relationship, if August was going with Shaniqua, who lived down the block, and they broke up and he sat down with Angela Yee and talked about it, nobody would care. Like, give us that scoop on your relationship with Shanika. Is it true she got 3 baby daddies or is like 2 of them kids is their cousins? Nobody would care, right?
Nope.
But because it's Jada Pinkett Smith and we love Jada and Will and we hold them in such high regard. Now it's, I can't believe you did that to them. Just keep your business to yourself, so on and so forth. Yeah. While they're watching and reading, because those people really crack me up. The who cares people who on the site reading, but they type in who cares in the comments.
Yeah.
So, I guess he was supposed to give her special treatment. I guess as special as the treatment she gave him while posing as his mama.
Child, he's a human being. What do you expect? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like we hold these people to certain levels and standards, but it is what it is. And the boy wanted to tell her and he told it. I'm calling him a boy, but the man felt like he wanted to say it. It is what it is. Yeah.
So now it's so funny because Will and Jada are so vocal about everything and have opinions on everything. But when August Isolina dropped this tea, they got real, real quiet and started releasing statements through their reps. When the last time Jada released a statement through her rep? She was just on Twitter the other day getting at this YouTuber who was pretending he was masturbating to a poster of Willow. She came straight at him. Jaden came straight at him. But now we got to go through our rep. And the rep just basically said, it's untrue. That's all you got? Like, you can't even write me a couple paragraphs? I need some paragraphs. I need a statement with grammar, punctuation, and spelling. I need a full statement. It's untrue.
We need to hear from them. I'm trying to hear from them, period.
Well, Jada did
Will
say.
was all over
all over social media making all these cool videos.
Yeah.
Now, Jada did get on Twitter and say, I think it's time to bring myself to the red table because some healing needs to take place.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Healing. Now I don't need no healing. I need the truth.
Right.
Because healing and the truth are two different things.
It's all that Selena lying or not. That's all we want to know. That's it.
We not. So I guess she can't go that route. She can't go that route. So now it's got to be some healing taking place. So somebody wrote back to Jada and said, but did you lie on August? Get it? Did you lie on August? Did you lie? I said, people so why did it tickle me the way it did? I said, people so
they are. Who came up with that? That's too funny. That's so clever now.
Did you lie on August? So then
I love it.
Yeah, then somebody said, well, when you gonna be on? And somebody said, I'm waiting until August. Get it? Yeah, it was cute. They had fun with that.
Oh, right. Oh, gosh.
But if she's going to sit at that table and start beating around the bush and pussyfooting and Millie rocking all around the truth or talking in those, you know how she tends to do where she, as I was looking inside myself, I saw inside. And I said to myself, healing of the traumatics of I don't want that.
But that impersonation is on point. You nailed that. That is her though. Yes.
I don't want that.
Nah, not at all.
I want. Okay, y'all. Well, I'm sure y'all saw it. I'm sure y'all heard me say it. Y'all saw me walking funny at the BET Awards in 2016 when we went together.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know. But here's the thing. If Jada does come out, her and Will verbally, physically sit down at the table and say August is lying, do you think they have the power to discredit him at this point in the game?
Yeah. Damn. I do. Because it's Will and Jada. If we were talking about somebody else, I'd be like, nah. They might as well not even come to the table. It's no point. But yeah, if they come as a unit,
they're going to bring Gabby, Jaden, Willow. They got to bring Trey. They got to bring Cherie, Trey Mama. They're going to need everybody at the damn time.
You think so? I don't know.
But I do feel like if they literally sit at that table, no, you know what? I really feel like it's a group of us that we like, nah. Like, I
don't have a group, but the unanimous, I honestly feel like they can pull it off.
Absolutely. Because there's going to be a group of people who blindly follow whatever they say.
Yeah.
They're going to hit what they got to lie for.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be something. Yeah. It's, I'm just curious to see what Will, like, that's who I've been waiting to hear from. Like, what you got to say, Will? Like, this man said you gave him the blessing. Like,
dapped him.
Probably
dapped him, handed him some condoms. Like, hey, she might get like, oh Lord. But if you think about it, in hindsight, they were literally, how they say, hidden in broad daylight, hidden in plain sight. Yeah, they were hidden in plain sight. We just thinking, oh, the Will's done adopted August Iselina.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Then he posted a photo yesterday on Instagram and said, my face breaking out. Do y'all think it's abstinence or stress? Yeah, you ain't in that because your skin was glowing when you was in the Will household, the Will Smith household. Your skin was glowing, baby. Hair flourishing. People was like, I want to know who did that twist out because that twist out was flourishing.
Yes.
But August always had pretty hair though. He's always
he does. I love his hair. Always had pretty hair, but I don't know, but I just hope he released it. And I hope he's able to move on because if it was causing physical health problems, that's not good. He already has some issues. So,
and it's not a game. If you've ever been in a relationship to the point where it got you so upset or it just got so toxic or so bad because he kept referencing drama and he kept saying bringing up the word drama. So I'm like, well, what happened? Like what? I just want to know if y'all actually did do this relationship and y'all were in this thing. I want to know what caused it to end. That's what I'm more interested in. Because I can already imagine what was going on in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? When them slow jams came. But I want to know what actually caused it to end. Because he kept referencing the word drama. He kept saying drama. I don't do drama. I'm allergic to
Maybe
drama.
Somebody else slid in. Jada might have slid somebody else in.
Oh.
I don't. Maybe it was time. I'm just saying, like it could be.
Dickens.
Still hurt. I'm saying.
Think about home and it's another little boy at the table with his books. You be like, oh.
Exactly. Hurt.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm curious though too. I'm like you. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that too. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see whenever Jada decides to come to this red table. I saw a meme yesterday that said, "Damn, Jada, how long do it take to grab a red tabletop and 4 chairs?" Because she is literally taking her sweet time getting to this table. But you know, they're prepping, figuring out what we're gonna say, what we're not gonna say, how we gonna word this.
Yeah.
What type of spiritual advisor we gonna bring in?
Yes, you already know.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess we'll have to stay tuned because this probably was the sauciest sauce to hit the streets in a minute.
Yeah, it was for a while.
And it's funny because for it to hit so hard, it's crazy when it's old tea, but then it hit real hard later on.
Yeah.
I guess it's because we just needed that one last piece, the confirmation. We just needed the confirmation.
We got it.
Somebody was like, I hope that sex tape leak. I was like, woo, child.
I know, girl.
I ain't saying I'll watch it, but I ain't saying I won't. Because August is legal. I ain't saying I'll watch it, but I ain't saying I won't. No. So yesterday, not yesterday, on Monday, Kodak Black issued an apology to Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London.
Kodak Black.
See, Kodak Black.
He's just a character. Like he. Why now? What took so long?
I'm gonna tell you why now. You know when you sitting in that cell about to rot to death, you start reflecting on a lot of different things. For those who may not know what Kodak or what happened with Kodak, shortly after Nipsey passed, Kodak was caught on video with his friends having a conversation where he was speaking very, very recklessly of Lauren London. And it was, you know, the old saying like, oh, somebody's body ain't even cold. And it was basically a situation like that. You know, everybody was still mourning Nipsey's passing. And Kodak Black was talking to his friends about trying to holler at Lauren London, trying to move on to Lauren London, who Lauren London about to get with next. And it was a very, very disrespectful and very tacky, poor conversation to have, especially at that point, at any point. It was a terrible conversation to have. And once the video got out and about, of course, the alderman of hip hop, T.I., came walking in like George Jefferson and demanded, because T.I. is the hip hop George Jefferson.
Yeah.
He came walking in and he publicly demanded that Kodak Black apologize expeditiously. And Kodak Black, then it turned into a whole thing between T.I. and Kodak Black because Kodak felt like T.I. ain't gonna punk him. And fast forward, it resulted in T.I. taking down Kodak Black's exhibit in the Trap Museum. It spiraled into a big thing. And basically a lot of people just basically turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to Kodak Black. And then his karma kind of kicked in and then he ended up getting locked up back to back.
The way it was fast too.
It was fast.
I've never seen it come. Yeah.
It was very fast. It was like karma was just sitting on Instagram. Like, soon as he get off this live, I'm going to go around there. Soon as he get done. Okay. All right. It says it got 1 more minute for Instagram live, cut him off. And then karma went right on around there and got him.
Yes.
Now Kodak Black is in jail. He's been speaking out from jail a lot about mistreatment and different things that he's enduring in jail and so on and so forth. You know, okay. I got to make sure I got my mask on when I go to Kroger. I mean, that's my concern right now. Is making sure I have my mask on. So he issued this apology, and I want to read to you the apology. Let me pull it up really quickly. Because some people said, oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. He said, willing to accept when I'm wrong and stand firm when I'm right. The whole world know your example was a guiding light. I pray your fam light and accept this humble apology in my kite. You remind me of Ice Cube, Bunchy Carter, and Huey P., a hustler and an owner, the second coming of Eazy-E. What happened to you could have happened to me. I'm a young philanthropist. Sorry, choked on that one. Like you, even though we're from two different worlds, I saw your vision, but I noticed that my words are often misinterpreted. Sometimes a man say things he doesn't really mean, but on some real Z shit, I never meant to disrespect your queen. Homie, I was really respecting your scene. Hashtag fly high. I'ma keep the marathon going. Hashtag King Kahan, at Nipsey Hussle, at Lauren London. So that was the the apology.
I couldn't even get through understand half of that.
Listen, for a lot of rappers, grammar and punctuation is not their stronghold. Okay. Now the gesture is admirable, but sometimes you can't help but think, why did it take so long? When T.I. was actually trying to tell you, hey, this is wrong. When thousands of people on Twitter and social media were trying to tell you, hey, this is wrong. And that's why you trended for about 3-4 days over this nonsense. That could have been a moment of self-reflection. But again, people are more open. People are more mindful. People are more perceptive and receptive when you sit their ass still and they don't have anything else.
True that.
And so maybe he is trying to make amends and maybe rekindle a community who cut him off. I wasn't here for Kodak Black in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, I just like that one song. That shit I don't like. Oh, I'll go off for that. But that's as far as my relationship with Kodak Black goes. He won't be at my house getting permission from JB to do nothing to me. So but the best apology is change behavior.
Exactly.
He can write this beautiful tribute to Nipsey, but if he come back out from them prison walls and pick up where he left off.
Exactly. Tekashi.
Chow.
I'm just saying.
Chow.
Disgrace.
A total disgrace. I don't even acknowledge him on Ice Cream Conversations. I don't acknowledge him because, and I find it odd and the way some of my media outlet counterparts move is just so confusing and strange to me. Just the things in the content that they put out. We all know what Tekashi's about. We all know what he's done. We all know what he's capable of doing. We saw that he went through jail, begged and pleaded, snitched on everybody, begged and pleaded to get out because of COVID. They let him come home and he literally picked up right where he left off.
Exactly. Same thing.
Literally. Picked up right where he left off.
And Shody doesn't have remorse. His first live, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't watch the live. I saw the clip. He comes out dancing with handcuffs in his hand. It's like...
He did? Because, I didn't give him no time.
I saw a clip where he came out on the live. I didn't watch the whole thing. And he came out and he's dancing with... Because I couldn't believe that, I'm like, this fool was doing a live. I thought there was some, aren't there some restrictions? I thought he wasn't allowed to.
I thought he would have had some type of restrictions, but apparently not. But it's not far-fetched to see that maybe his legal team asked if he could have access to social media. But as someone who is allegedly or supposed to be in the witness protection program, why would social media play a part in your daily shenanigans?
Exactly. Yeah, it's no more wasting time on that. But I hope Kodak comes I hope he means what he says. And like you said, action. Yeah. I gotta say it. You can apologize all you want, but I need to say it. And I know that's how Lauren feels. And Nipsey's fans.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure, I wonder if Lauren was like, Because, when somebody disrespects you on a level of, on a personal hurt level like that, she's still healing from that. And he piled on. That is not something I don't know, because Lauren London is a gracious and graceful woman, but she is also not with the shits.
No,
and I
at all.
Like, you can keep that.
Yep. I can see her saying it.
You can keep that.
That was
because I feel like that's the type of energy I would have.
Yep. I know I would. I wouldn't want to hear any of it. That's why I'm just like, whatever.
Yep. Especially based off of his track record. The dude said he would kick Young Miami in her stomach while she was pregnant.
Yep.
Or punch her in the stomach.
He's trash to me. Sorry if you're a Kodak Black fan, but I just feel like he's trash.
I look at Kodak Black, I'll be like, that's that shit I don't like.
I like how you do that.
I don't like. Real quick, I want to give a congratulations to Charlamagne the God. He has landed a weekly talk show on Comedy Central.
Wow. Oh, that's huge.
How long before he tell the Breakfast Club, it's so hard to say goodbye?
Yes, he making moves. That's huge. It's soon. It's definitely coming soon then.
So you think he'll dip?
Kind of seeing that. Yeah, I think so. But then you kind of feel it even before this.
Their relationship, first of all, I feel like the Breakfast Club has a wonderful dynamic. And the reason why I say they have a wonderful dynamic is because when one of them is out, the show is trash.
Oh, it feels crazy. It is. Anyone.
Crazy. Yep. Anyone. Yep. Because as much as DJ Envy irks the hell out of me, I like Angela. I know people give her a hard time. I like Angela. I feel like I could have a conversation with her and kick it, and I could tell her that Will, this is what Will said to me. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so speaking of, Will, y'all still got my number, right? Just in case. I don't talk. I won't tell on the podcast. I might subtweet, but I won't tell on the podcast. So, and Charlamagne, I have a love-hate relationship with Charlamagne. I'm leaning more towards love now because Charlamagne used to say a lot of things that used to repulse me, but then at the same time, he would make me laugh 5 minutes later.
Yeah, he's evolved though. He's grown. He's grown.
Yes. Now that is a true depiction of someone evolving.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
for real. And and Charlamagne, he has had to answer to a lot of terrible trash behaviors in his past. Yeah. And that's what made him really made him wake up. But the three of them together, love. I enjoy the Breakfast Club. Yeah. But at some point in time, it seems like their relationships have become strained. Yeah. It's not the first time that they had some type of internal issue. I don't know if you remember years ago. I can't remember what was going on, if they were at an event or a club or something. But Charlamagne and Angela Yee got into it in a car. And I think Charlamagne either kicked her out the car or she kicked Charlamagne out the car, but he called her a B or something. But they exchanged really nasty words. Okay. And it went viral. So they were able to get past that. But then when Charlamagne did that interview with Gucci Mane.
That was it right there.
When he interviewed Gucci Mane. Mm-hmm. And Gucci Mane started talking crazy about Angela. Mm-hmm. I think that hit Angela in a whole different way because when they came back on the air after that interview, it was just like after Tisha, when they started separating Tisha Campbell and Martin in the episodes.
Yes. Same energy. You know what? You're right. That is the same exact energy. That is so true.
Same energy.
It's different. It hit different though, because it's one thing if me and you go through something, right? Mm-hmm. And you can say whatever you want to say to me, but for you to allow someone on the outside mm-hmm. to disrespect me and you not defend me, that hit different.
It really hit different because I do this job with you every single day. We a team. We sit in here and do this work together. Yeah. We a family. We a team. We spend years, 52 weeks out of a year together. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, except when we go on a vacation. That's like me. Imagine me sitting up letting somebody talk crazy about you in any capacity.
That's what I'm saying. Right? For real.
I didn't almost get arrested in Walmart in a body shaper for nothing.
Oh, God. Girl, you better let them know.
I'll tell you that story on another day.
Yeah.
How Karla goes back from fighting to me holding Karla back from fighting. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll have to tell y'all about that. That's not
security on all Walmart. Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. I think there's a part of me that feels like he won't leave because of what they built on that show. But who was it? Was it Meg Thee Stallion? It was somebody who came up there and was doing an interview. And my apologies, because I hate listening to podcasts when people don't have all the information. I'll be at home yelling, "It was Kim," but for some reason, Remy Ma. It was Remy Ma. So now y'all don't have to scream at me. It was Remy Ma. And it was State of the Culture. They were up there. And Remy Ma was basically kind of like low-key trying to pitch herself as a co-host of The Breakfast Club. And Charlamagne said something to the effect of, like, you should do it. Basically saying that his spot was going to be empty soon. He did say at that particular time that he had not renegotiated his contract yet. Okay. So there is a chance that he may exit. But when I tell you, if Charlamagne exits that show.
I hope not. I really hope not. They got to wrap it up.
It'll be like taking a tire off of a car. Yeah.
And no disrespect to DJ Envy and Angela Yee, but I feel the same way. Like, I just can't see it happening without Charlamagne.
Yeah. It's going to be a strange dynamic. And I can't even think of anyone. And sometimes we get so used to something, we say, "Oh, I can't see Emma." Like the way I was like, "I can't podcast without Karla. I refuse to do this podcast without Karla." We get in that mindset where it's like, this is the way we know it. This is the way we like it. This is the way we want it. I'm not saying there's not someone else out there who may be able to bring something to that show, but Charlamagne different. You can say what you want about Charlamagne,
he's very different.
He's different.
He is. He brings so much to that platform, to that show. He really does. And like I said, no disrespect to the other two, but if you take away, let's say DJ Envy leaves the show, or even if Yee leaves the show and you leave Charlamagne there, I can see other people that can kind of coexist and still make that thing
and build around him.
That's a huge piece of that, team.
It almost feels like he's the pillar of it, and they can build around him.
Yeah.
But Angela Yee has her own success in her own right. She has the Lip Service podcast. DJ Envy is successful. He tells us every chance he gets, or shows us pictures of his success on social media. So, they're all successful in their own right. So God forbid that the show should come to an end or have some revamping going on. It's just going to be different. But congratulations to Charlamagne. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with this talk show. It's a weekly talk show on Comedy Central. I like Comedy Central because that will give Charlamagne the freedom to be Charlamagne. I do not want to see Charlamagne on TV in a capacity or space of him having to censor himself or having to minimize his personality.
Yeah, that would do him a huge disservice. It's you talking about taking a wheel off of a car. That's what that would do him. That's what we love him for. That's where his strengths are.
Yeah,
being him, 100% in.
Yeah.
So I agree with you with that.
I'm here for it. One more thing. Tiffany Haddish shaved her head bald yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, she shaved her hair off. And what is it?
What prompted her to do that? We always think somebody going through something when they shave their hair off.
Yeah, she had some faux locks or some braids in her hair, I believe. And she cut those out.
Oh, yeah, she did have them.
And then her head was looking kind of crazy because she literally just chopped them out. Like in the movies when people like, "Oh, I got to get rid of these braids," and she just chopped them out. And I could tell that she was going to cut her hair because she did not care about making sure she wasn't cutting real hair. When you have braids, you got to be like,
so you be like, "Let me find a braid."
Yeah, here it is. Okay. Oh, I got some growth. Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing more heartbreaking than cutting your real hair when cutting out braids.
Oh, girl, you'd be devastated.
So when she was cutting out the braids and I saw that she didn't particularly care at all about how she was cutting the braids out, I said, okay, she's doing the big chop. I I didn't know if she was going to go with a little Florida Evans, a TWA, little teeny weeny afro, but she actually shaved her head down the same way Tamar did when Tamar shaved her head down. And I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal, only because Tiffany Haddish is an entertainer. She could shave her head bald. She will go into a trailer and they will smack a wig or a weave on her.
Yeah.
So it's not really, to me, that big of a deal unless she actually rocks the bald head and gives us that head.
Yeah.
You know, I actually, throughout quarantine, I dabbled with the idea of maybe cutting all my hair off because luckily y'all can't see the way my hair looks right now. But I dabbled with the idea of, just playing with my hair a little bit. But what y'all don't know is in the back of my head towards the center, I literally have a flat slope that will cause people to question my health if I were to shave my head.
Yeah. You got, remember that time Scottie Pippen shaved his head? All the way low. Remember that?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Look, yeah. So listen, you know how every Black family got a secret that they don't discuss?
Yes.
I promise you, in my family, that secret is what happened to my head. Don't nobody want to discuss what happened to my head.
Oh, poor thing. Somebody that dropped you when you was a baby.
Somebody dropped me. Somebody dropped me and laid me back down. It just said, you start patting on the chest. What's wrong with her? Nothing. She just hungry. Yeah. So no, I definitely can't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Nah, my head too big. My head is way too big. I've never even contemplated. Child, please.
Listen, let me tell you something. The way these Beat by Dre headphones are squeezing the hell out of my head right now. Can't nobody tell me I don't have a little dome. At least my body even it out.
I got a little saddle head. Remember that saddle head? Ain't nowhere in the world I can do the big shot.
Listen, you got a big head when people start telling you stuff like, baby, you just smart. That's all. You just smarter than the average kid. That is all.
Or big head, big brain. Remember that?
Big head, big brain. Yeah, big head, big brain.
Oh God, Lord, wow.
Okay. All right. But yeah. So I will go ahead and post the photo of Tiffany Haddish on the site so that you can see. I haven't posted the photo yet because I was like, is this really Mary Kay Letourneau died. Do you remember Mary Kay Letourneau? I knew you knew that name.
The name sound familiar. That's why you
knew the name. Wait till I tell you who she is.
Okay.
Mary Kay Letourneau passed away. I'm gonna give you the deets first. Mary Kay Letourneau passed away at 58 after battling stage 4 colon cancer. Anytime someone passes away, out of respect, you moment of silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mary Kay Letourneau is the teacher who was sexing her 12-year-old student, later married him and had 2 babies.
Oh,
ever heard?
I forgot. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Convicted rapist.
Wow.
So she was trending all over social media, and I literally battled with whether or not I should post the story on the site because I was like, I don't want to disrespect her by calling a spade because I was always taught not to speak ill of the dead. Right. So I didn't want to disrespect her because by calling a spade, but then I didn't want to act or give the impression that I was trying to invoke compassion for her.
Right.
It was just a weird thing. So I just did a screenshot and just posted the screenshot and was like, here, y'all, she gone.
That's when you keep it simple. Keep it simple.
The only way that I would have been able to report that story accurately is to say convicted rapist Mary Kay Letourneau passes away at 58 after battling stage 4 colon cancer. That is a whole lot in one. That's a whole lot in one headline.
Yeah. Way too much.
That's a lot.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay. All right. So last thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up is Bubba Wallace. And this NASCAR, and this noose, and this president. Bubba Wallace is he the only African American NASCAR
I think
driver?
so. Don't quote me on it, but I think so, because I just learned about him with this. I did too. And it's unfortunate that this is the way that we had to learn about Bubba. Yeah.
I think I learned about him just a smidget before, when he was like, he's going to drive his Black Lives Matter car, and he was going to wear his I Can't Breathe shirt. And so that's when I learned about him. And then this noose incident happened. So for those who aren't familiar with the story, Bubba Wallace is, I believe, the only African-American NASCAR driver. He was very, very happy and spoke out. Excuse me. He was very happy and spoke out after NASCAR decided to ban the Confederate flag, and also to permit kneeling, taking a knee from anyone, on teams and who works in pits and teams and so on and so forth, during the national anthem at their races, right? Mm-hmm. So, of course, all eyes on Bubba, like, you the black representative. Are you happy about this? You know what's going on or whatever. So, he spoke out. Very humble dude, nice dude, kind dude. Well, he gets to Talladega. I believe it was Talladega, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but there's a noose hanging in his garage. Now, Bubba did not see the noose. Be clear. Bubba did not see the noose. Bubba was informed that the noose was there. Mm-hmm. So he spoke out about it. NASCAR immediately launched an investigation, brought the FBI in. The FBI conducted the fastest investigation I have ever seen in my whole black ass life. Right. Came back and said, this particular noose was in this garage since last year. It's used as a garage door pull. Of all the knots to tie in the entire universe, the Marvel universe, and in Miss Universe, all the knots all the universes all over the world. Y'all chose a noose for a door pull in a garage. Okay. So then the FBI comes back and was like, well, there was rope, blah, 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 blah. It was there since last year. This is not a hate crime against Bubba Wallace. Oh, well, the others took that and ran with it. See, he's Bubba Smollett. So they were calling him Bubba Smollett.
That was horrible. That's so disrespectful.
Accusing him of having this hoax in order to gain attention, to gain sympathy, in order for people to rally around him, because other race car drivers were very supportive of Bubba throughout the process, which was a beautiful thing to see. Even was it Tom Petty or some race car old head driver, whatever, came out there? I don't know. Somebody Petty was out there. I don't know. I don't know nothing.
I'm not familiar with the NASCAR. I know.
I don't know nothing but Dale Earnhardt.
That's the only one I remember. Yeah.
No, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. passed away, right? Dad or Junior?
I think it was the dad.
Okay, dad. Okay. Yeah, I believe that. So, because, we have killed off the wrong people. Oh, gosh.
You ain't going to do me. You was going to go there.
Lord forgive us. So, okay, so NASCAR drivers rallied around him. FBI comes back and says, this was not a hate crime targeted towards Bubba. So then now the others are now clowning Bubba, accusing him of making a hoax for attention, comparing him to Jussie Smollett, who, by the way, I received a tip. And, only give tips on the podcast because, I don't want to put anything in writing. But I received a tip yesterday with photos included. Jussie Smollett, I have to say allegedly to protect us. Jussie Smollett is allegedly dating Michael K. Williams. Omar coming in more ways than one. Omar coming. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay. My ICC friends came through with a full Yep. They were at protests together over the weekend.
Okay.
Together. And they are legitimately together. I'll shoot you the pictures after the podcast. I'll shoot you the pictures. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So anyway, so they were comparing Bubba to Jussie Smollett, saying it was a hoax. And then NASCAR did their own investigation, which they should have did just from jump. But I guess it looks good if you bring the FBI in. And they stated that, throughout their investigation, they saw that Out of 1,600 plus garages at 16 different racetracks or something of that nature, there was only one garage that had a noose as a door pull, and it was Bubba's.
How about that?
What is the likelihood? Let's do the math. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention in math class, but what is the likelihood?
Right.
Out of all these garages, Bubba would end up in the one that has a noose as a door pull.
Oh. Wow.
Oh. So the others attempted to cancel Bubba or make a mockery of him. They had thought that he was going to lose endorsements over this because if he loses endorsements, of course, he can't race. Mm-hmm. Guess who came through? Boom, boom. Hey. My boy Beats by Dre came through, gave Bubba a whole endorsement deal and announced it on the same day that their president, Donald Trump, got on Twitter with everything going on in this world. Mm-hmm. We have police brutality. We got the Black Lives Matter movement. We have people and babies, children who were killed all over the country over the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
We have a pandemic currently going on that his own people getting the virus at his rallies.
Exactly.
But he took to Twitter to say that Bubba need to apologize for a hoax.
Wow.
That was his concern.
Yeah. That's the problem. That's the whole problem of it. That's what we're going through now.
That was his concern.
Wow. Shout out to Beats. That's a huge.
Beats
that's a
came through.
Yes.
Beats came through. Beats was like, "We got you, Bubba. You good." And LeBron was like, "Welcome to the fam." He was like, "Thanks, King." Then Magic Johnson was like, "Good job, young man." He was like, "Thank you, sir." I was like, "Look at this.
I love it. The unity.
My brother's keeper. My brother's keeper."
That's right. Yes.
My brother's keeper. So I'm like, boom, 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 boom. So it's absolutely perfect. So I'm very, very happy for Bubba, and this is just another prime example of what it's like for a person of color, Black folks. People like to say people of color, like a person of color, Black folks.
Black folks.
What we go through. Bubba was never given the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Us, yes, because we experience foolishness like this in our everyday lives, in our everyday walk. Mm-hmm. But it was like there was a group of people, the others were literally waiting for just something to make him look out to be a liar, to prove him to be a liar, to prove him to be a hoax, or this is a hoax. And it's almost like
it's sad.
People can't. I often wonder how a lot of people function in society. Mm-hmm. I really, really do. I often wonder how a lot of people function in society. Mm-hmm. But it's happening. But this is why our society is so trash right now. It's because those people who can't function are out here malfunctioning all the shit for the rest of us.
Yep. That's the thing. Spills out. They don't just keep it till it spills out into our society. Social media is a big tool. It's like, it should be rules. Me and you always talk about it.
Always, there should be rules.
But everybody doesn't deserve to have a public opinion.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of people should actually have to pass some type of written test in order to get internet access.
Yes. Could you imagine? A whole lot of folks wouldn't have it.
Wait.
A whole lot of folks do in the dark.
Man, when Floyd Mayweather get to that spelling test, he gonna be like, shit.
None of your clout chasers are done. I'm telling you, you gotta take a test. No.
When they get to having to choose between there, and there, the there, and there. Oh,
that's the biggest mistake. It's always
like, can I get a lifeline? Can I get a lifeline? So I'm like, okay. So Karla, before we go, what have you been watching on TV, if anything? I've been watching a lot of TV.
Yeah, I have too. I've been binge. Believe it or not, this sounds crazy. I've started binge watching Survivor since the pandemic started. Never was a Survivor fan. Could care less about Survivor. I actually started binge watching Survivor. So Survivor, The Shy, of course, it just started. caught up. I did a lot of catching up. Caught up on some Shameless, and that's pretty much what I did. What you got new?
I've been diving into a lot of documentaries.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's, I'm just in the mode of like, I get my shenanigans in though, Tiger King was my thing. Hello, cats and cool cats and kittens. So I've been diving into a lot of Netflix. Netflix is my people. I love Netflix. And if you're looking for something to watch, every month at the beginning of the month, I will drop a list of all new things coming to Netflix in order for you to watch. Because and this time I included some Disney Plus and Amazon Prime Video, but I always come through every month with something to watch on Netflix because they're my folks over there. But a lot of Netflix, a lot of documentaries. I had Destiny sit down with me and we watched documentaries on Emmett Till. We watched Emmanuel, the documentary about the Charleston church shooting. I was not ready. I wouldn't recommend if you already kind of kind of trying to keep everything together with what we're dealing with in the everyday. I would recommend holding that one off.
Okay.
Hold that one off. Okay. It was very, very, very tough. What else? Oh, I watched this documentary about this white guy who was tracing his ancestors, his roots, because he knew that his family owned slaves back in the day. Right. Okay. So he traced his roots to dig into his family owning slaves, and then found out that they was part of Plymouth Rock.
Oh, wow.
He was like, wait a minute, I didn't come for this. Really? I just came to find out a little bit.
Yeah.
He found out they kicked the whole damn thing off.
That's why sometimes when you get to digging, it can
don't dig. Don't dig, because you'll find out your favorite auntie was your mom who gave you to your grandma because she still wanted to go to the club when you was a baby. Don't dig.
Girl, you better tell them.
You're like, you mean TT is my mama? Listen, we all saw Orange is the New Black when she came home and had to pretend she was her daughter's sister.
Yes.
Black Cindy.
Oh my gosh.
Black Cindy had to come home and pretend she was her daughter's sister. So don't start digging. If you ain't ready, don't dig.
Wow, that's crazy though.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a few. I think I'm going to start like making some type of list of documentaries and stuff. And I know I kind of spoke to you about this briefly, but I want to tell everyone, if you have the time or make time to watch the Netflix documentary Disclosure. It is about the trans community in TV and film. That junk opened my eyes so much and made me feel so remorseful for the way that I looked at a lot of things over the years. And of course, it's growth. We talk about that all the time, the evolution and the growth, and recognizing that things that we thought were okay before might be problematic now.
Yeah.
And, so I watched that and it was an eye-opening, beautifully crafted documentary. It's called Disclosure. It is on Netflix. I'm actually going to go see. The thing is, I think it was released in June, but I think I'm going to try to slide it into my July list.
Okay.
And hopefully nobody be like, hey, this came out in June. People love to check me.
Yes.
This came out in June. This is not July.
I wonder if they get paid for it.
Okay. They wait for my typos and they wait a moment to correct me. It's like Whitney in the back, like one moment in time. And they be like, you spelled there wrong. It's they-a-y, they-a-y apostrophe R-E. Okay. Thank you, baby.
Cool. Yes. Right.
Thank you for your feedback.
Girl.
Thanks for your feedback.
Yes.
So all right. So I am oh my gosh, our first podcast.
I know, right?
We are back. It feels good. It feels good. It feels great. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very excited to be back. I'm so happy to have you back with me, girl. I love you to pieces. Aww. I feel like there was only, you have your soulmate. You're my bestie, soulmate, podcast mate, shenanigan mate, tomfoolery mate, life mate. That's what that's what people don't be like. That bitch gay. Did you hear what she said to her? And then that's when I'll come in and correct them and be like, because Pride was in June. Pride was in June. Not July.
You are
Pride was in June.
Damn fool. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love you more. It feels good. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
get this thing going. And,
I know. I'm so excited. So just as a heads up, just some church notes real quick and some reminders. New episodes of the ICC podcast will drop every Wednesday. Please download the ICC podcast. No, the ICC app. Lord, look at me. Download the ICC podcast. Download the ICC app. It is available in Google Play, iTunes, everywhere you download your apps. This will make it so easy. It will give you easy access to all things Ice Cream Convos, from the site, the blog posts, social media, our online courses, because I have released an online course. So if you're interested in launching your own site and making money, you can, pick up the Scoop on Blogging podcast. I am so excited about this podcast. I'm going to keep saying podcast. So you can pick up the Scoop on Blogging online course. And a podcast too, if you want to. But the online course has a pandemic price of $25 now. So yes, you are more than welcome to pick up that course. And people are taking it and people are doing so well. They are really enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of great positive feedback. So I'm excited about that. So everything you need Ice Cream Convos related is inside that app. You actually get post notifications when new content goes out. There, you won't miss anything related to Ice Cream Convos. So just download the app. Almost said podcast again. Download the app. Download the app. Scoop our online course, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen. We out here. We everywhere. We are back. We are excited, and we will be bringing you the delicious scoops of entertainment and celebrity news every single week with our illustrious commentary. You may not want my commentary, but you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. Okay. So with that being said, my love to all of you. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Thank you so much for supporting Ice Cream Convos. I will see you out in these social media streets and on the website, icecreamconvos.com. I love you guys. I love you, Karla. ICC.
We all we got.
All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Ice cream conversation. Ice cream conversation.